Hey, so guys, I'm Automator. Another episode of what we automated with AutoHotkey. Let me go over here. Start Prompt Assistant. Prompt Assistant here, actually, the recently modified file. I have one, and I put a 1 here to remind me. This is just the single instance. This is all it launches. This is actually a group of things it launches, like the webcam reminder, like get active path not running. Yeah, I think it just couldn't connect to it. It launches my recently modified files, looking for AutoHotkey files in the last 7 days. Turns on do not disturb mode, adds my URL tracker, puts up a webcam reminder, which I think is off screen, and I'll need to move that at some point, move it back to the screen. I think, and now I understand why, because when I was in Vegas, the monitors are very different locations, and maybe in that tool, we could build something that says, hey, if this GUI location does not exist, it should move it to the primary center of the primary monitor, right? So that'd be a nice thing to add to that tool. I'll try to remember to ask Irfan to work on that, or maybe also use AI. Irfan, speaking of which, picked up a project where he's automating some cars game, and this is for a really interesting group. This target market, the client has these very, very wealthy people. I mean, like 1%ers probably, where they're so, wealthy, they have admin people, butlers, whatever you want to call them, setting up the games for them. They don't even do that themselves, right? So he is automating his games because there's a lot of custom configuration, but most people just want to run a template. So we are automating that. The problem is sometimes you can send keystrokes, sometimes you can't, and we have to rely on images and mouse clicks and stuff. And so what was interesting was Irfan was stuck on something. He asked me to join, and he's like, yeah, he had accidentally ran the same script twice. So not just single instance force wasn't there. He had a second instance of it, a newer version. And when he would have the two versions running at the same time, the second script that launched would work, not the first one. And so that's when I came to the picture, and I'm like, okay, let's simplify this. Let's copy your second script and create an exact copy of it and run it the second time and see if it stays the same. It still did. Only the first one that will launch wouldn't do anything. The second one, when it would actually allow us to control the screen of the game. So it was really interesting. We asked AI what was possibly going on, and AI came up with, I think it was there's a directive, something like use window hook or use keyboard hook. I forget what it was. It's one of those, a directive on using hooks to capture the input in. It was, I think, the script we were using from Evil C is Clive backwards. He has a script for automating things at a lower level. Unfortunately, the hook wasn't registering quickly, and also just by adding that use window hook or whatever it was, made it where now our first script works every time. Isaias, during a hero call, explained the concepts of what it probably was, because he didn't actually see it, and Irfan wasn't on the call, unfortunately, when I was explaining it. But the how and the why, because that's beyond me. But yeah, so we kind of worked through that, and that was a bunch of this first stuff here. This one, Ron. So Ron is a client. He had a project we were working on for him where it was automating. It was actually a very interesting situation. So we automated extracting data from his warehouse. They have an API, and their clients gave them an API to go check like their inventory, and then they go use it, and it's wrong. So they have to go manually pull the data to use it for their records. Well, they had someone going in, logging in, going to a page, selecting a couple things, downloading it, and having that Excel file to go use. And so we automated that probably in about 45 minutes total. And everything was working great. We gave it to Ron. It worked great. And then he was having problems with it running on the server. So it's a Windows 10 computer, the server. So we joined in with his call, and we were debugging it. And what was really fascinating was the computer, the server, it was running Windows 10, which was a couple things, because we were playing sounds and doing notifications, and it didn't have the files, which that was easy to fix because Ron didn't care about notifications because it's just on a server and it's automated, so no one will be looking at it anyway. So we removed those. But the second thing that was really interesting was it was kind of a gotcha. Somebody, probably the admin person for their technology group, had frozen Chrome from updating. And our Repositioning library that we use to automate programs always tries to get the most recent. If there's a more recent version of your driver, it will download it because usually Chrome is downloaded with updates itself. But it turns out because they had froze that instance of Chrome where it couldn't update, the newest driver wouldn't work because they have to be synced. So we, I forget exactly if Irfan changed it to just, I think we just got the right library and then left it there, and he turned off the auto updating. But it was just a really interesting situation where we probably should be checking the version of Chrome and then updating if it doesn't match our version of the driver, not just checking to see if there's a new driver available. So very interesting call, lesson learned. We didn't charge Ron for working through that other stuff, but it was pretty interesting. I don't think, I see there's some stuff with the editor here. I don't think we made any, I guess there's something with the debugger, or if I must have made a minor tweak. The AHK script editor, which by the way, this morning there was a release to AutoHotkey V2, to the 20th version of V2, and it's just a patch, right? And it just fixed a lot of little glitches and this and that. But what was cool was when I started AHK Script Maker, it told me, hey, there's a new version out there. And when I went to the source files, I could see it and click a link and go pull up the page to go download it. So that was really cool that actually did work, because it's so easy to get out of sync with the most recent version of AutoHotkey, and it's just a good practice to stay with the most recent version. And if you're in V1, God bless you, because it's not getting updated. And so all the little fixes that happen in V2, they don't happen in V1. All right. So prompt assistant. I was asking Isaiah to change. I don't know if he actually did it. I think he said he changed the source code, but not the executable, to where it does no longer checks every time you launch. It doesn't check for a license every time you launch it, because that was just something that we shouldn't, even though most people are online, we shouldn't have to require that, right? And one of our clients, AJ, it was causing a small problem because his VPN might be on, and from certain countries, our ISP that hosts the Automator block traffic from certain countries. So anyway, it was very interesting. So here we go, transcriber. We made some changes to transcriber, nothing too major, but made some minor fixes in there. That's a great tool for if you want to get quick transcriptions of your text and feed it a prompt to get the titles. I'm actually running it. Well, we'll be running it in a second here on the other computer. Let me see. It's actually running. It is on the screen, though. I'll bring it over here. So you just drag in your file here, and you can choose to get titles, a summary, or tags, and you can actually go into we have prompts for each of those things, and for getting your thumbnails, that's really to go create them. And so you just put in some links, and we'll go pull them up, and then you can ask AI to build them for you. But great tool for doing transcriptions. We love that one. And actually, let me walk through a little bit of what I just did for a person that lives across the street from me, across the highway. She does live auctions, and she sells a lot of items in those auctions. I've tried to watch them, but I always miss the call. But so I was over there buying some stuff from her and just talking to her about it. And I said, yeah, you might want to also, we could probably figure out a way to compartmentalize instead of having a long video. You could, because I saw this one video was like 2 hours and 50 minutes. I forget how many minutes, but it was over 2 hours long. And it, she does it, live from her phone, but that's a long video to watch, and you don't know what's necessarily she's going to bring up, right? So I don't know how many people stay for the whole session. Probably not many. So I was just talking to her. I'm like, hey, you could probably, find a way to break that up. It's like, well, I came home, and so I saw one of her videos on Facebook, downloaded it, and then I used FFmpeg from a script I have to just rip out the first 30 minutes of it instead of doing the 2+ hours, because she didn't ask for any of this. So I took the first 30 minutes of the video, and then I used the transcriber tool to send it off for transcription, and that transcribed it for me. Then I took the transcription and I fed it back to AI and said in the prompt, hey, this is like a live auction. Isolate the time periods where she talks about individual products, and give me the timestamps using, and I gave it an example. I don't know if I still have that file open. It's the function that I use for extracting stuff from our AHK videos. So here's the general format. I don't know why that's, there we go. Now it showed you the formatting. So I gave it 3 examples and said, return back to me with the timestamps like this and the name of the product, right, or the topic. So it took that 30-minute transcript, came up with, I think it was 26 or 27 videos, extracts, that I just fed right back into this function because it gave me the function perfectly with the names, and I just updated the source to be the name of her video, and it ripped them all separately, and then I played a couple. I just showed her, I recorded a video showing to her, here's 26 videos for this 30 minutes, right? We could have done it for the whole video of individual things, and the text, we could have either taken this or the transcript and built a tool, you know, like built on the website where it would, they could search, her customers could search when they're looking for something. Did she mention anything about bath soap, whatever it is, right? So it was a really cool, I did all that, by the way, in like 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. Crazy what you can do when you have a lot of your tools, right? And you just think of a new application for them. This is where I say it's always worth automating because you can repurpose them and use them in different ways. Cloud skills, we have this Cloud skill viewer we built. That should run. Yeah, and you build it, you put in your tools and you can search for them and it will filter. So right now it's filtering off the name, but I can say search the content instead. We'll see if any have GUI. Not GUI, not too many with GUI. Well, that nothing. Let's go design, so canvas design, and then you can select it, but it's really a quick, easy way for you to remember it. And I think if I double click it, it will give me the name. So you can remind the AI tool to go use that skill, right? So it's really handy. AI built this tool for me, even added the scintilla highlighting the colors and stuff. So it's really cool. I think it's a little funky looking because of the DPI. And you can actually, it's an editor, so I can hit save and it would save these changes as well. So very cool little script that we made. Force delete, we talked about this during the hero call. You can force deleting of files. If you have a certain file or folder that's locked on your computer, so this will go through and try a couple ways to delete that file. I had one where there was like no letters or spaces or anything, and I don't know how it got created, but I used this approach to go delete it for me, which was nice. It got rid of it. Media merger, we made some updates to that one. Here now, when you drag in videos, let me see here. It's I got a lot going on my computer. I'll drag in a couple here. So it shows you the length, it shows you the width and height. We didn't have this before, and the frame rates. So you get an idea to make sure that they're similar, especially this. Look at this. So I have 2 different widths and heights here. That's fascinating. Oh, this is the concat version. That's funny. But still, oh, it must have converted it. So the width and height was bigger. And then this one that concatenated it together from the, it's the same video. It's just reduced it down some. So that's, and we added the intro and outro to it. But that's interesting. It's the format we must have said, use the 1920 by 1080. Anyway, and here it also shows you the full length, right? So this is a quick, easy way you can move up and down. The other thing that we did was if you, before we would just hit like merge or run, and it would slap these three items together really quick, almost instantaneous. But if you would play it like in the Windows Media Player, the timestamps, when you'd be looking at the time, at the current time, it was weird. It would get messed up. So the re-render is much slower because it will have to re-render the entire video, fully re-render, not just slapping it together, but you get a really good solid video when it's done. So I did that. Here's the video sandwicher, which I'm running right now. It's on the last video. Now also, so now instead of this bright yellow it used to be, now it's blue, and you have intros. Now I just have, right now I have one intro and a bunch of outros, so we'll select between them. This is grayed out, actually. It's disabled because it's actively producing this video for me. And when it's done, I had, I forget how many, 12, 11 extracts from the hero calls over the last 2 days. It removes them from the list as it goes. So now I have an idea, I can see very quickly there's just one left, right? Before, they'd all stay here until they were done, and then it would say it's done, they'd all go away. But now it does it one at a time, so I can very quickly kind of glance back at it and know, hey, I'm on the last video. This should finish while we're here, it'll play a little sound. I don't know if you'll hear the sound, but it'll play a sound and then it'll be empty. And then I go and take them and upload them and run them through the transcriber and do lots of stuff. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, that's wow. Of course, I just hide the darn thing and it disappears. So now, see, it's back to the regular colors. And that is how that tool works. I forget what change we did. I think it was that selective where they disappear as you go. Oh, and I didn't have a way to delete a selected item from a given intro or outro. So also, that's what it was when I was working with Joey. You drag it in here, and it didn't. We basically, before, what you had to do was to put them in the folders, but we had no instructions on that. Now you can drag them into here, and it'll say, "Do you want to have this an intro?" You say yes, and it will add it there and register it. So we fixed that. Kind of a bug. Oh, and now my effortless video reducer. I was also, like I said, I was doing a lot of stuff. I was running through the 3-hour calls. So we've reduced, the videos were 2.8 gigs. Is that what that was? And then now they're 236 megs. So it's 8% of the original size. Crazy how much space this saves. And it's amazing because if we look at this folder here, I'll show you. We can get rid of this guy now. So here is, let me sort it by name here and we'll see. So what it does, here's this video. Oh, come on. Why is, oh, what? I don't know why that's saying 0. I've never seen this. Something happened with the, that's really weird. Something is amiss. I'm gonna try to play it. I mean, it says 0, so that can't be right. Nope. Okie dokie. Oh, look at the, no, that one is fine. Yeah, these were 3 hours. What, this tool never fails, and suddenly it failed. What is up with that? That's nuts. Weird. Okay, I'll try them again, but that's I'll do one at a time here instead of doing all of them. But it clearly had a problem with it. That's fascinating. This tool never breaks. So very weird. That effortless video reducer is really great. This volume batch set, I'll launch it here. So now you can drag in, let's just say I want to adjust the volume of these videos. I can increase it and hit set volume, and it would go and increase the volume of these. It's not AI doing it, so it's not going to be perfect, but one of our clients had sent us a video, and I couldn't hear the audio, and I realized when I turned off everything and the dogs weren't barking, I could hear him very, very low. So I used this tool. I actually bumped him up as much as I could, and then ran it through it a second time, and I could finally hear him, so it fixed the video for me. But it's a great way to just kind of increase the volume or decrease very, very quickly. I've been working on this tool to automate segments of the newsletter, like the what we're reading, not automating it, but automating the pulling of them from our topics to use and putting them into the newsletter. And then also like the funny memes and the client quotes and our quotable quotes, the different sections, right? Some of those things change. Some of them stay forever, like our client quotes, the testimonials. Those, of course, we just keep repulling from at different times. But some of the other stuff, the news, what we're reading in AI, those are very timely, right? So anyway, it's shoving them all into a table for us. And then, so right now I'm building the tool to build the database. Later, I'm going to build a tool to go pull them selectively. And what we'll probably do is, because I write the intro myself, and it has kind of a theme going to it. So we will feed the theme that I wrote to AI and then say, okay, given that this is what we're talking about, hey, what news that we have selected that is, good for, that we think our users would like, which article should, should we put in there? So I've been working on that. I'm not sure what we did to our banner. That's the little thing beneath me here that updates. Oh, I think actually that was this OBS dynamic banner that you're seeing at the bottom of the screen. I think it was actually on this file. When I selected it, it didn't get updated. So Irfan fixed that. Recently modified files. Let's see, that would jump to there. That's this tool we're running here. I'm not sure what change we made to that one. Speed up, boy, I can't wait to, I think maybe we shared this already, but if you have thousands of files in a folder in Windows 11 Explorer, this is a minor little tweak that will really increase the speed of how fast it loads. Our stock portfolio tracker, this tool is great. You know, AutoHotkey is single-threaded, and I wrote this tool to go through and pull the stocks that we have invested, you know, and it doesn't have it just has the ticker and the number of stocks you might own, and then it pulls the data. It uses Yahoo Finance to go pull that data, and initially it was pulling them one at a time, and if you watch the video, you'll see how slow it is. And then I had AI rewrite it where it basically used a set timer, I think, to go pull them at their convenience and pushing it all together. So then when I run this, you'll see it just kind of goes bing, and then they're all there, right? So give us a quick look. I can also now go in here to change the headers that I might want to have. So I don't want to have necessarily a 1 day, but a 5 day and 1 month. And this is probably a bit too much for me. Yeah, actually, I like the year to date. I don't do the 5 year. And so it'll change the headers that we see here. It also keeps track of this value and then gives you a total for across all of your stocks. So great simple way to add stuff, and you can add and remove. I can remove all, I can remove selected, or I can add individual ones. So it's a very cool little tool. Again, there's no password saved, right? So it's not tied to your investment account. It's just a way for you to keep track of your stocks without logging into your financial thing, because that always, to me, is very risky. So a lot of stuff with that. This tool, I gotta show you this tool. I don't remember if it was still the browser back button. So AI wrote this tool. It's just a launcher for built-in Windows tools, right? So I haven't tested all of this, but it added this whole thing, and I can choose. Let's see if I want to open my startup folder. So it'll jump to the startup folder, right? So, oh, yeah, so QAP is still in my startup folder. Most other stuff I do differently, but very cool little tool. We'll probably add a little more to it before we share it. But it's a great way to be able to, I want to add a search capability too, because sometimes I don't know how this is organized. What was cool is, of course, you could rewrite this and organize it however you want, right? And I had AI build the structure for me, which was cool. This play pause. Let me edit it. I'll show you how simple it is in VLC using. This is the so now I can actually get rid of, if I wanted it to paste the timestamp in Word, I would uncomment this out. Right now, I have it set up where if I hit the browser back button, it will use Control Send to send a space to VLC, stopping it, pausing it, or starting it, and then it will grab using the notify class and pushes it to the clipboard. So both of these, I probably could just store this as a variable, and that would be a tiny fraction of a second faster. But it shows me the current time that the VLC video is. So if you're trying to transcribe things or something, if you're trying to find, make notes on a video, this is a great, easy way to pause and get the current time of your video if you're running VLC. So I had it in V1. I was surprised there was a V2 folder, but there was nothing there. So I had AI adapt it to it. Actually, our earlier version used the ACC library, and this one now we're using the, I'm sorry, that's what it was. We were trying with the UIA library, and it acted weird, and it even though whatever, so I finally just switched it back to the ACC library, and it seems to work fine. But yeah, this is our V2 version of it. So let's see if that's all we got. It should be pretty close to it. Yeah, so that was basically what we've been up to this week. It built a couple inspectors. So at this point, let's see, is this the one that was, I think, trying to use, where's the, I think it was trying to use UIA at this point. but I was trying to grab the different paths available. That was the, oh, sorry, no, it had switched to the controls at that point. This was the UIA inspector. So tried to get the framework of it and to see if it could grab it, but it couldn't see what it wanted to see. So hope you enjoyed that. Lots of fun. We've been busy working away. If you have something you want to work on or want to talk through how to use AI, hey, look at our consultation or book a calendar call with me. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Cheers.